Agile is a methodology. It's an approach of getting work done, and it was developed in the around 2001 by a group of software developers. So it came about in the software world, where they realized that they are doing projects and they are spending 6 months, 1 year or 2 years to create this huge piece of software and lots of money spent. And then when the software is actually launched, they reach the customer and the customer is only 50% satisfied. It doesn't really do what the customer wants it to do. So these guys said that we need a better way of doing it. And they said that let's see, can we deliver not the full product, but a 20% version of the product to the customer within a month? Can we do like a watered down version of the product, which is a working version, which means it doesn't have all the features, it has only 20% of the features, but can we go to the customer with that within a month so that we can get feedback? And then based on actual feedback that the customer is giving us, can we make further improvements and then go back within 1 month once again? And this way, a month at a time, we end up creating a product that the customer really values. So that's the Agile methodology. It began in the software world, but it has become a philosophy. It's used today. Many companies like John Deere use it for product development. Many management firms use it in the way they manage their projects and their teams. And it's also become a way of working in our own personal life. So let me attempt to explain Agile to you in very simple language. Let's say if I want to host a party and I love cooking, so I want to create this new dish and I want to have 20 people over. So another typical way, the traditional way, and which also makes sense in certain situations, is that first I will do a lot of research, I will find out the recipe, then I will go out and shop for all the ingredients, and I will do like a whole cooking project out of it. I will prepare everything, and then everybody would have been invited and they would all come and we have this big feast together, right? So it makes sense, and this is the typical traditional mega project way of managing something, and it works if I have done this, if I have cooked these recipes many times before, if I already know exactly what I'm doing and I'm a pro at it, then it works. But what if I want to innovate? What if I'm looking to create something new? The risk with this approach is I might end up with all these 20 people coming home and giving me galis. The Agile approach is very different. And if you see below in this diagram, it begins by an idea of a recipe, and I may not even have all the ingredients. But what I do is, fatafat, I get down to it and I prepare something. So if I have an idea in my mind for making, let's say, a vegetarian sushi, which I actually did and I'm going to show you, I don't have the exact sushi rice, I may not have some of the sauces that I need, but let me see what I can do with what's available, and I quickly put something together, and then me and Aarti, my wife, together we taste it, and then we think, okay, how can we make it better? And then we do a second round of it. In the second round, I have a few more ingredients, I have a little different way of preparing it. This time I might involve my family. So 5-6 of us may sit around and enjoy that. And then based on the feedback and the learning that I get, once it's worked, I actually go out and create the mega project and invite my 15-20 friends. So what I'm doing is I'm working it in steps, in sprints. These are called sprints. And at the end of each sprint, I have something to taste. I have something to try. So it's not that I first prepare the rice perfectly and then we taste, or I first prepare the filling perfectly and then we taste. I first prepare a simple sushi roll as good as I can manage, and we taste it and we see what can be improved. So this is the idea of Agile, that we move one step at a time. See, there are a few thoughts behind this whole idea of Agile. I'll just share them with you quickly. One is to focus on what's working. Once again, connected to the session that we had on Saturday, appreciative inquiry. Second, the philosophy that, being busy is not the same as being productive. I need to be being busy doing the right things. Third is I need to be ready to change. So what's not working, I should be able to change. And if I do a very long, very complex project, by the time I reach the end of it, I don't have time left to change. But if I do the project in short bursts, then between each burst, I can make the necessary changes. Point 4 is the single most important point is work in version. So if you ever use software, you'll see that there are software versions, version 1, version 2, version 2.5. And Agile says, even in your life, things that we want to do, make the version 1, but make it really fast. Don't waste too much time. Fatak se make the version 1. Point 5 is work together. So involve your people, your team to create that version 1. After you have that version 1, point 6 is then seek a lot of feedback before you get on to version 2. Right? So that makes the second version better. It's simple, it's common sense, there's nothing fancy. But if you do it, it makes a big difference. See, for example, if my vision was to create this star that you see on your screen right now, this is what is the vision in my mind. I want to create a star like this. Point 2, this is not the way you should start. Don't start by making perfect pointy elements of the star. You see those 3 triangles, those are the end points of the star. Don't start by trying to make one perfect component and then fit those components together. The way to start, according to Agile way of thinking, is to make something that looks like that star, looks like that vision in my head, different elements. So you'll see what I've drawn over here is like an approximation of that star. It's not just one perfect element of the star, but it's an approximation. There are dots, there are dashes, there is some element which is also not looking like a star. But it tries to look at the whole vision. I try to make an approximation of my whole vision. And then finally, as I make improvements, what I might end up with is a slightly different looking star. And that is exactly the way we have built this Explorathon. We had a list of topics, we had some ideas by which we'll do it. But then we made the first version fast and it was scary to put it out and share it with all you wonderful people. But we put out the first version and then we iterated and we modified. And today we are attempting to do the whole thing from the Facebook unit and not from the presentation. So that is the Agile approach. And if you look at some of these pictures that have been shared here, they're very interesting. Have a look at this on your own. It really expresses how Agile works. So have a look at it later on. Do you know, even when Apple launched the first iPhone, they didn't even have a copy and paste feature on it. They focused on getting the screen right and getting the look right, but a simple thing like copy paste feature they didn't have. They added it later. When Virgin began its flights, we found out that Virgin began with only one scheduled flight. That's it. They began an entire airline with just one scheduled flight, but they put a lot of energy in creating the kind of experience, the kind of service, the kind of branding. And when that started working, they slowly started adding more. And here's a really interesting example of a company called Dropbox. We've shared a link over here. Dropbox is a file sharing service. They began, you'll see over here, there's a link. Have a look at this video later on. Dropbox began without even a product. They just made a video vision board of what they wanted this product to do. What is a video vision board? They like a vision board of what I want to be or what I want to create. They made a video of when their product is completed, what it will do and what it will look like. And just based on that video, without even having a product in hand, they raised funding and started their development work. That's a great example of Agile.